Hello, I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jalen.
And we're here to talk about Dragon Ball
Z.
Okay. And we're on episode 75.
Here we go. We're starting the final arc in this Namek saga.
I always remember the name of this password is Purunga, like always being the beginning of the Frieza arc. And
so Kron's obviously, he's going off to the Elder because he doesn't know that Dende's on his way, so he's flying that way to get the password basically at this point.
And the password we learn is Paparunga.
Now, as this is happening, Nail is still getting the crappy out of him, and Nail, for some reason, laughs and tells Frieza that he's been just a distraction, and by this point, the dragon's been summoned and he's lost his wish. Now, I know I get this happening, but you think Nail would know that the sky would grow dark and that there'd be other signs, and why would he tell him? I would just be laughing. He's like, "Well, you laughing?" Like, no, nothing. Like a joke to myself. Like, why does he tell him? Because now Frieza's on his way back for no reason.
It gives him some redemption or something against Frieza, but yeah, it seems like he just kill as much time as you can.
Yeah.
I mean, why stop?
Yeah. So, but anyway, I understand. He's just getting beat. I mean, he can't even walk at this point. He is just done.
Vegeta takes a nap.
Yeah, is that hilarious? Like Vegeta's like, he's just tired. You know, he's just a tired Saiyan.
Like, oh, let them find the password.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch some Z's.
And so Krillin finds Dende, grabs Dende, he's like, come with me, because he can fly faster. They fly back to the ship.
And they'll wish quietly while Vegeta's napping.
I love that. It's like, don't wake Daddy. Oh my god, we go, don't wake Daddy, but don't wake Vegeta, and you have to summon the dragon. That'd be a fun game.
Yeah.
I think people will enjoy that.
Yeah. Okay, so now we get to episode 76.
Which is then, we have a new dragon in front of us. I'm going to be honest and say that it is a cool design. Yeah. I think I prefer the normal dragon design.
I like that it's different.
It is different. It is very different, which is cool.
And this is where they discover they have, there's some new rules. They
yes, I was going to say.
3 wishes instead of 1.
You can't wish everyone back at once. Yeah. Which, to be fair, even could you imagine? We wish Tien them back. Tien against Frieza would just be like 10 seconds. Like, it would literally not help. Piccolo's not.
But also, it's kind of a cheap trick, right? Because when they wish Piccolo back, they get Kami. So shouldn't that be 2 wishes?
2 for 1. Well, also, I was just thinking about, like, you know, like later on they do this too. Like, yeah, they also could have just been like, Purunga, make Goku and Piccolo 10 times stronger.
Yeah.
Anyway, they could have, but they're not that smart.
Yeah, well, this time they get the typical genie wish where they weren't specific enough.
Yeah.
So they wish Piccolo back, then they use another wish wishing him to Namek, but they didn't say where.
Yeah.
So now he's got to find them, which will take.
Could you imagine if he just puts in like the ice caps, like the farthest away position he could have? And also, Vegeta comes back, starts threatening them.
Yeah,
and
the
like,
third wish for me to be immortal.
Make me immortal.
Well, and he's making a valid argument, right? That like Frieza's gonna kill all of us.
Okay. Also, his. But if I was them, I'd be do the immortal thing. Well, even like, why did Dende wish himself immortal? And he's like, now you die, and the Namek punches him, does nothing. Like, aha, you idiot! Like,
but yeah, as they're about to make it,
the Elder passes, and so that happens, and you're like, well, what else could go wrong? And oh no, Frieza's there, and he's not very happy.
Which is really good convergence, I think, of all these plots for the last 30 episodes.
The last time they were this close to Frieza was way back with the Doya and Zolf. But yes, they've never had a conversation yet. They've never done anything. He still thinks of them as humans. He doesn't even know Gohan's half Saiyan yet or anything like that. He just knows. He doesn't even know their names. He just knows that they're just like pests, basically.
Yeah. Episode 77.
Here we go.
This is Piccolo now flying to visit them, so maybe a blessing in disguise that he was wished somewhere else on Namek because he comes across Nail.
That's the reason that's why he wrote that. Yep.
Which is the first other Namekian besides Kami he's ever seen.
Yeah. Which it's himself. So
and it's a dying Namekian. So I think that's good. They fuse.
Yeah, Piccolo feels amazing.
Yeah.
His Nail's just gone after this, basically. There's like some times they talk about it, but like Nail should somewhat be in there.
Well, and it's described as a fusion. So you would think with a fusion it's going to be 50-50. It's just as much Nail as it is Piccolo.
I would say I think Piccolo was already becoming a good guy, but I think that this moment, because of Nail though going in, basically made him a good guy. I think unlike Vegeta, who it takes like a family and years, Piccolo, it takes much shorter time because of the fusion. And then he fuses again, and both times with people that are good.
His personality is just like, oh, well, he fused with this heroic person, so now he's heroic. So like, he shouldn't even be called Piccolo at this point, like Gotenks, right?
Well,
he changed the name. So.
I think Toyama wrote himself in a thing. He should have given the Namekians a similar type thing where like after a fight they become more powerful. There's no way to catch up when like even if they lose a battle, they become more powerful. Like how do you catch up? It's literally like you're always gaining XP versus everyone else. They don't gain XP when they lose. Like
so
we get to the fight you won.
Well, the first, so now we get into Frieza. So Vegeta fighting first form Frieza. Actually, pretty evenly matched, surprisingly, more than I remember for the first form. And Vegeta asks Frieza to transform.
What an idiot.
So
an idiot.
Well, it shows he's trying to show his awareness and that he's on this other level.
Sure, but now if you could have just begun that fight for 20 more minutes, and then guess what?
Yeah.
Goku wakes up about everyone being just demolished, you know?
I guess, but it's about, I think this is about Vegeta looking behind the curtain of this like force that was in his life so long. Because he learns both, his planet was destroyed by it from Dodoria. From Zarbon, he understands that Frieza's transformations. And so he has all this knowledge that he wants to leverage to defeat Frieza, but then he doesn't really know what he's up against. So, and this is weird. So the episode ends with Frieza transforming into 1+, getting a little taller. This is never discussed. It's not really.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's a toy or a card.
Because it's never used in battle.
Yeah.
So then we get into episode 78.
Here we go. No, this is backstory time, which I was kind of surprised about.
The whole episode.
Some of the backstory stuff, which is not in the manga, which is Frieza for no reason is just I'm gonna tell you everything about your father and the Saiyans and all this stuff.
Well, I think a lot of Frieza's game here that's unlike other enemies in Dragon Ball Z, it's humiliation. Frieza wants to humiliate Vegeta, and in some sense it's because Vegeta humiliated him, that he saved this one Saiyan and look what it's caused. Like, it's destroyed half his army, and now he still thinks of it as, he's going to win this battle, but he wants to first completely humiliate Vegeta.
Yeah. So he's telling a story, and they're not even really fighting, and we do get a hint, we see Bardock different than the movie. And the reason it's different from the movie is because the way he describes it is there's a revolution, King Vegeta comes in to beat him. And then after that, he goes out of his ship and destroys the rest of the Saiyans, which would include Bardock. But obviously, Bardock would have no reason to be there in the way that they do the canon later, basically.
Two different versions of the same story.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is, again, that's how legends work. Like, each survivor, each son would have a different story. I think it is interesting because it's taking... The humiliation is that Vegeta looks up to his father as, this is the king of all Saiyans and the person who could do no wrong, was stabbed in the back by Frieza. Yeah. But the story that Frieza shares is your father tried to do a revolution and I hit him once, right? Yeah. It's showing that actually he never stood a chance, and it's destroying Vegeta's entire image.
Also, to be fair, I saw a comment, so I'm very true about this. They're King Vegeta's an idiot. Why did you lure him to a planet and then make a moon come out? They could have at least stood a chance then if their best warriors are monkeys. Yeah. They could have at least tried to take him on. He's not a smart king.
Yeah. Well, and I would say, again, there's unreliable narrator stuff here where, again, who knows what really happened. The story Frieza's telling Vegeta is to humiliate him and show his father as, nothing significant. And then on top of that, he transforms again.
Here we go. The real one, which looks like his father, King Cold, later on, bigger form, huge horns, which are wow, those are just for show, right? Instantly uses the horns. Instantly uses them. Unlike other times, it's not just for show this time. Other villains don't do that. This is the first time that he is wow, I look really powerful, and boom, instantly attacks Krillin with his horn.
At this point, I think the series is beginning to transform. It's almost becoming mythology, where it's are we actually watching what's happening, or are we watching someone's story of it? Because it's Frieza, is this a real form? Because it looks so demonic. I almost think it's Gohan's kids hundreds of years later, writing I mean, that's what Toriyama was doing. It was a nightmare he had, I think, was Frieza's form. So it's just drawing the super demonic being, and there's storms and tidal waves and all of these things happening, and there's these witnesses watching the stabbing, and it's zooming in on their faces. It's the assassination of Julius Caesar. Krillin, no.
Well, the big thing on Krillin is that he's been whisked back by the Dragon Balls, and they don't know this yet. And the Becky and Balls can bring back anyone, no matter how many times they die. Yeah. Gohan doesn't know this, which was leading into our last episode we'll talk about in this episode, which is him just going crazy and literally kind of going toe-to-toe with Frieza for a little bit with his anger power boost. Then that doesn't work. Then it goes to Vegeta attacking, and almost no real... Yeah. It's not even affecting him. At this point, Gohan's lost the extra energy he gained from the anger and is now back to his more normal form. So he's just not... He can't even defend now. So we're going to end this one, but we'll ask you a question. If you were there and you got that last wish... We're talking to affect the series, not for your own wish. But what would you have wished for if you could have made one wish right before they all die? What would have your wish been to help you defeat Frieza?
And you can't wish for immortality.
Sure, yeah, let's go with anything else because that would be boring. What else are you going to do? You can make copies of yourself. You're going to wish for Tien.
Chaozu.
Chaozu.
All right. See you next time.